Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the recap of WrestleMania Sunday, live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Ghoul MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, then great. If he doesn't, then we will probably see him on Tuesday night. And, well, let's do it, guys. Let's dive right on in. We're not going to waste too much time here. So we started it off with the triple threat for the world women's title. The champion Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Winner of the bout in 14 minutes and 25 seconds. And still the women's world champion, the genius in the sky, Io Sky wins it all. And yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Triple H. Thank you, creative. Thank you, booking, for doing the right decision. This was the ultimate outcome, the ultimate underdog coming out, winning the match, and doing it in a way that was justified. Here at WrestleMania tonight, nobody wanted it to see Io lose this. Nobody wanted it to see Io to lose the title, and she didn't. This was a solid matchup. I love the ending. After Bianca got caught with a after Bianca hit the KOD on Rhea, she was too close to that rope area for the genius of the sky to come flying with that moonsault, the over the top moonsault, and she got the 1, 2, 3. And more importantly, who she pinned in the situation. She nailed Bianca. She pinned the EST, marking the first time she actually has lost in a legitimate match at WrestleMania. There was one other time, I think it was a Battle Royale. She lost that, but that doesn't count towards a record. This is the first official loss to Bianca Belair's career at WrestleMania. She does not get the Undertaker push like that. That will probably bring a little bit of a smile to Michael Bullock's face, but more importantly, it cements Io Sky as the face of the women's division on Monday Night Raw. If there was any doubt, if there was any trepidation, if there was any concern, tonight these things have been silenced forever. There's no doubt anymore. Just like how Tiffany Stratton is now the face of the women's division on Friday Night SmackDown, Anthony Florio, the face of the women's division on Monday Night Raw, is now firmly Io Sky of Damage Control. She is still your women's world champion, and you have her taking the flag and running with it on Monday Night Raw starting tomorrow night. So she successfully defend the title in 3 to 3.5 star match, winning it in 14 minutes. And let me just double check that.
I believe I saw 14:25.
I can confirm. Yes, 14:25 is indeed the time of the fall.
Absolutely. With all due respect, MF, I think you underscored this match. This was easily 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Hell, I could go 4.5 if I wanted to, and I am going to. Not quite the 5, almost there. It just needed a little bit more. But let me tell you, this ranks up there as one of the greatest women's matches in history. This is easily in the top 3 now. There's still that part of me that thinks maybe Rhea and Charlotte from 39 might still be the bar setter, but I think this is right behind it. I mean, this was an extraordinary match. The second truly great triple threat match on this 2-night card. From the inventive spots to the dramatic near falls, the running narrative of Ripley versus Belair to Io's vindication, this was pure gold and easily one of the best women's matches on this stage. absolutely deafening pop for Rhea offset the loud chorus of boos for the EST. Io Sky out to prove early on that she is not going to be an afterthought in this match tonight. Rhea Ripley delivered a razor's edge to Io Sky, tossing her into Belair. Justified "This is awesome" chants. Io Sky with an arm drag to counter a super riptide from the top rope. She misses the moonsault, and Belair delivers a KOD, but Ripley broke it up at 2. And then that finish. Oh, that finish. That's what did it for me. I mean, the moonsault. Bianca had the KOD. She thought she had it, and then there was Io out of nowhere with the over the moonsault, covering Bianca for the 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to surprise a lot of people when I say this. This, to me, was the fight of the night. That's how good this was. I mean, I know I might be overrating this, but you know what? Unapologetically me, I don't give a damn. 4.5 stars. I if I wanted to pull the trigger and give it 5, I would. Because that's how damn good this match was. And this just set the bar for future women's matches in the history of WrestleMania. We've come a long way from the ho-hum diva fights of yesteryear to the women's evolution. And that women's evolution took a massive step forward here tonight. And for Io Sky, all I can say is you deserve it. No doubt about that. So this is easily the biggest win of Io's career. There is no question about it. I mean, winning the title was one thing, but to successfully defend it on the grandest stage of them all against 2 very tough challengers who she very easily could have lost the belt to. Easily. This is why we got to love the Papa H era right now. So they're letting Io, they could have very easily had Io be a transitional champion here. That would, I mean, I think under the old regime, that would have happened. But here, no. And also great for Io because last year they fed her to Bayley. And now 1 year later, she gets her moment, and it's rightly deserved. So I am beyond excited to see where my show's women's division goes from here. And tomorrow night on Raw after Mania, anything can happen. So I am beyond thrilled to see where this division goes. And a more than deserving flag bearer in the form of Io Sky. Well done. Fight of the night for me. 4.5 stars. I could easily give it 5, but because that's how damn good this match was. Absolutely, this was a masterclass here tonight. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, the outcome we all wanted. We all wanted Io to win. She did it, and she did it in a damn near 5-star classic to lead off here tonight. Fight of the night for me.
Yeah, that's the way you jump off WrestleMania Sunday with a match like that. I mean, 4.5 stars, fight of the night. My goodness, I mean, Io gets her moment. I mean, after what happened last year, and yeah, in the old regime, they would have made her a transitional champion, but under this new regime, the Triple H regime, no. They know what she's made of. They're going to let her cook with that championship. And she's going to hold on to it for as long as she wants. Because she's with being a sideshow or side whatever. Either way, she is now the woman of Monday Night Raw as the new the women's world champion, and she's not going to be kicked to the side anymore. Not going to be an afterthought. And she proved it to the entire world. It's yours, Fletch.
Next up we had was Damian Priest going up against Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight. Drew McIntyre winning the match in 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Damn near 4 for this. This was another action-packed match at the top of this show. It appropriately conveyed the hatred between the competitors without taking things too far into the realm of violence. It worked, the crowd appreciated it, and the show had a second great match, something last night never quite strung together. Kerry King of Slayer played Damian Priest to the ring in one of the coolest, most metal entrances in WrestleMania history. Drew McIntyre continued the trend of live tweeting during WrestleMania, grabbing his cell phone from his wife and commenting on the match. That's why you gotta love the guy. 3.5 to 4, another excellent match. 2 for 2 on WrestleMania Sunday. So, and once again, they got this one right. Drew needed the win a lot more. Damian had gotten him so many times. Drew was due for a win, and he got it. So he gets his payback for last year. So be interesting to see what happens post-WrestleMania for the Scottish Psychopath. So 3.5 to 4 for me. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, 2 for 2. 2 matches in, 2 bangers.
Yeah, I mean, 2 bangers right from the start. I mean, this was perfectly well done. I mean, 3.5 to 4. Yeah, I mean, Drew McIntyre gets his moment after everything that Damian has done, and yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Sledge.
Yeah, about 3.5, no doubt about it. I think they did a really good job with it. Solid matchup, and one of the rare times where Drew McIntyre brought the tables into the match. Those 2 tables that went through. Normally, Booking 101 says if you bring the weapons out, you're the one that goes through with it. But then Damian Priest made a critical mistake. He tried to do the infamous walking of the ropes a la The Undertaker, and Drew McIntyre said, "You're no Undertaker. Get the fuck off," and through the tables he went. That was a historic spot for me. I marked out. Yes, and I did my infamous, "Oh my God," when he went through the tables. Michael Bullock's like, "Oh no," he was trying to do an homage to The Undertaker. And I know what Drew's probably saying, fuck you and fuck The Undertaker because you're not him. So that's exactly what he did. Off he went. Claymore after that. Through the exposed chair that was hung right between the ropes. That was actually done by Damian Priest. So Priest got a taste of his own medicine, and Drew McIntyre gets a WrestleMania moment. You can say a rebound from what happened to him a year ago, after the Money in the Bank cash-in and losing the World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, his own fault, but this time around, there was no fault on this one. Drew won it and beat Damian Priest here tonight. So next up, guys, we had was for the Intercontinental Championship. The champion Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. The winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Michael Bullock, it is all yours. He pinned Finn Balor after Balor hit the coup de grace on the champion, on Braun Breaker, and Dom with a frog splash and stole the title from Finn.
I think we all know where this is going, Fletch. I mean, I think this is going to lead to more problems for the Judgment Day, and I think this is where Finn Balor is going to get kicked to the curb after all this. What was the time of the fall again?
10:30.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3.25, teetering on 3.5 here. I mean, another solid match here, and the right person went over here, and I mean, what a moment for Dirty Dom. I mean, again, this is something like we would say, Fletch. I mean, for those people, you may not like the outcome, you may not like the result that Dominic Mysterio is the Intercontinental Champion, but the thing is, like Batista once said, Fletch, we're gonna have to get used to it. And all I can say is, I mean, not a good weekend for Ray, because he gets hurt and misses WrestleMania, and now his son Dom is the new Intercontinental Champion, and I watched the post show, and he said he cemented himself as the greatest Mysterio of all time. That's
You
debatable.
can say he's on his way there, but he's still got a long way to go. I'll admit that.
Yeah, that's why I said it's debatable.
Dom, you're on the right path. You're starting
you still
out
got a
really
lot
great.
of work to do to get to that level.
Yeah, but hey, he can. If this is the start of his career, 2-time North American champion, former tag team champion, now Intercontinental champion. I mean, you can't really disagree with Dom.
Well, this is his first singles title that doesn't involve NXT.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He did it. This is his first singles championship. He's a former tag champion. Remember, him and Ray won a tag team titles. He was a 2-time NXT North American champion.
But he's still got a lot of work if he wants to surpass his dad.
Yeah, but
for him to say it now that he's the greatest of all time, no, you still got some titles to win if you want to solidify yourself.
Longevity too, but in his age, at where he's going right now, he's on the right path. I'll openly admit it. He is on the path of being the greatest Mysterio of all time.
He's on his way, but he's still got some work to do.
I agree with yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to disregard what Dom just said, because I kind of feel like you're on the path there, kid. You still got a long way to go, but I'll openly admit it. You do this for another 10, 15 years, I'll call you the greatest Mysterio. I'll gladly call you it.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to hesitate by saying it.
Give us 10, 15 years, and then we'll revisit that.
Yep.
Until then, I can't quite say it. So there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the fans was firmly on Dominic Mysterio's side. That is the ultimate kicker, is that the fans were chanting for Dirty Dom. They were singing Dirty Dom's name. He is so over right now, and the pop he got when he became the Intercontinental Champion here tonight, that is telling me one thing and one thing only. The sky is the limit for this kid. He is there. And I don't care what anybody says. He is on his way to being one of the best in WWE. He's young. He is incredible. And that means everything. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. I'm so happy for the outcome. And yes, the winner and new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Anthony Florio. Good luck with this one, my friend, because it's going to get very interesting on your show now. Dirty Dom the champion, history made, unprecedented crowning. And the thing is, he won it clean.
He did.
He outsmarted Finn Balor, made Finn Balor look like a dope. And I'm sorry, but Finn, you should have had eyes on the back of your head. You did it. You deserve to lose tonight. No regrets.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. But yeah, 3.5 stars for this as well. For the third straight match, fans were treated to an action-packed match devoid of rest spots. Braun Breaker showed out, tossing his opponents around the ring with reckless abandon, while Penta shined, and the dissension between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio fueled the match's narrative. Ultimately, Unit was the Judgment Day teammates who defined the closing moments of the bout after an enormous spear from Braun Breaker to Carlito through the announce table, and Balor delivering a coup de grace, or the coup de grace, to the champion. Mysterio seized an opening and delivered a frog splash. Pretty much an ultimate opportunist moment here. 3 seconds later, he pinned Balor, won the title, drawing a surprisingly large pop from the fans. The match exceeded expectations and was a ton of fun. A demolition derby of sorts that rightly kept the spotlight on Breaker while crowning a new champion in a manner that will propel one of the longest-running storylines in WWE forward. Another success on a night that needed several of them after the so-so start to the weekend's festivities last night. Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio entered not to the unified Judgment Day colors. Instead, the former sported yellow with a matching entrance video, while Mysterio opted for blue, perhaps planting the seeds for the inevitable split. Breaker absolutely manhandled fools in this match, a total showcase for the now former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Dominic attempted a 619, but Finn caught him and stopped a hole in him. Carlito at ringside interfered multiple times, including pulling Breaker to the floor. Breakoff ran off one announce table and drove Carlito through the other in yet another holy bleep moment on this show. Another oh my god moment from MF. And yeah, 3.5 stars. Another excellent match. 3 for 3. Could we go 4 for 4? Well, wait till you hear how this one played out.
So next up, guys, we had was the Randy Orton Open Challenge. Orton came out, people singing his theme song. We all know how that's been going. Orton cuts a promo saying, I'm here. I'm ready for a fight. Anybody who wants to come on out. Let's do this. The doors open and you see a figure. You don't know who it is until the music hit. Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry was at WrestleMania. Well, we did not have that in our bingo cards. Holy shit. I went nuts. Well, I did out the biggest what? Florio and Bullock started losing their minds because of who
I was like, what?
So it's the TNA Heavyweight Champion, Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton. Orton wins the match in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, okay, I know what a lot of people are going to say, but if you really think about it, Joe Hendry had his offense, but Randy Orton needed that win. It was a fine match, and actually, it was a callback to something that happened almost 25 years ago. Now, I don't believe it was on this particular date, but Triple H, then WWF champion, went up against the ECW champion at the time, who was Taz. Triple H won the match, and that was that. 25 years, possibly to the date, Randy Orton went one-on-one with the TNA World Champion. You want to talk about a full circle moment? Holy shit, that was it. Joe Hendry got a monster pop. Joe Hendry looked pretty good in the match too. Randy won. which was expected. And then, in typical Orton style, showed the love to Joe Hendry, let him get the hero's welcome, and then gave him a welcome to WWE moment by RKOing him in the center of the ring. Now, Anthony Flair and Michael Bullock was screaming, what was the meaning of that? Why would Orton do that? It's Randy freaking Orton, boys. Did you expect anything less from the Apex Predator? I don't think so. Now, I will call it worst fight of the night because it was short, it was there, but it was a perfect cool down because we had 3 bangers in a row. We needed a break. This was the perfect break. This was the perfect cool off. I don't have anything wrong to say about the match. I thought the match was fine. I thought it was good. This was about maybe 1.5 to 2. Because of the nostalgia factor, because of how the crowd got into it, and they were into this. To see Randy Orton and Joe Hendry, that was a holy shit moment. But the outcome was never in doubt. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
There was nothing to this one outside of the special appearance by a beloved competitor and the predicted Randy Orton win that should set him up for a Backlash main event in his hometown of St. Louis. TNA World Champion Joe Hendry answered Randy Orton's open challenge tonight. He probably wishes he hadn't. Despite an enormous ovation and some fun antics early on, the match went about as expected. A few minutes long. RKO with Orton and the win. It's a 1.5-star match. While TNA officials may look at it as an opportunity for their world champion to be featured on WrestleMania, and Joe Hendry likely dreamed of the day it would occur, it was somewhat surprising that the company would okay their top star to be beaten in mere minutes on worldwide television. Then again, it would never have been possible in years past. The pop for the Joe Hendry reveal was otherworldly. As if beating him in a few minutes wasn't bad enough, Randy Orton dropped Joe Hendry with a second RKO. And yes, and Bullock and I were like, hey, come on, what's the meaning of that? And then MF said the exact same thing. Gentlemen, it's Randy freaking Orton. You expect anything less from the Apex Predator? And then right after that, MF, the camera zooms over to us, and MF does the infamous Randy Orton pose. And you're like, and we're like, oh, okay, whatever. And then MF lets out a rare ha ha, a la Jesse Ventura on that. So, but anyways, that was our funny ha-ha moment of the night. Before we get back into the serious business here. So 1.5 stars, by default, the worst fight of the night. But a damn cool moment to see Joe Hendry. And this has been the bread and butter of the Papa H era, man. I mean, unpredictability, surprises, unexpected curveballs, and boy, howdy, they got us. We were thinking Rusev. We were with Rusev coming back. We were thinking maybe Aleister Black with him coming back. Never in a million years did we expect to see the TNA heavyweight champion, Joe Hendry. Makes for good publicity because let's not forget, 1 week from tonight, we got the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view next week.
Oh, yeah.
Where Joe Hendry will be in the main event when he defends his TNA heavyweight championship in a triple threat match against Frankie Kazarian and NXT's All Ego Ethan Page. And by the way, Tuesday night on Ridiculously Raw, MF and I will set the table for Rebellion, and then the following week we'll give you our thoughts on it. It will be next Tuesday night because it's on Sunday. That's right. So, all right. Been a long week, but in a good way. So, but anyways, 1.5 stars though. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, worst fight of the night, yes, but what a moment to see our boy Joe Hendry on the grand stage of WrestleMania as the TNA heavyweight champion. But Randy Orton. But let's be realistic. Orton was going to win all along, even if it was
no matter who
Randy,
it was.
even if it was against Kevin Owens, Randy Orton was still going to win anyway.
Exactly. But yeah, what a moment for not just for Joe Henry, but for TNA Wrestling. I mean, to have one of their wrestlers, especially the top guy, Joe Henry, to compete on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. Santino Marella and the rest of the guys at TNA have got it. It's got to be a proud moment for them. So, yeah, even though we all knew Randy Orton was going to win no matter what. So, 1.5 stars for me. By default, it was the worst fight of the night. So, it's yours, Fletch.
Next up we had was a one-on-one match, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. It was Logan Paul winning the match in 17 minutes and 50 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
3.5, 3 3/4 for this match. Match was fine, but it didn't really do anything to reverse any conversation about AJ Styles' rather pedestrian WrestleMania reel. Logan Paul was strong here, but the chemistry between him and his future Hall of Fame opponent was not quite what it was in his more acclaimed matches against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. The outcome likely continues the blossoming rivalry between AJ Styles and Karrion Kross, which I believe will be beneficial for both men. Despite a mediocre to bad backstory, this one presented as a big deal as the bell rang. And Michael Cole shouted out Fit Finley on commentary as AJ pulled a page from his book, catching Paul up in the ring apron and pounding away at him. Logan Paul, a master troll, utilized Hulk Hogan taunts to rile up the crowd. He also delivered the single best lion salt we may ever see. Like him or not, that was impressive and spot on. And Logan Paul and AJ Styles traded styles clashes. Another constructive criticism I have of the match, I think it was a smidgen too long. I think it should have been right around that 13 to 15, like those other matches were. So, this was the first thing on this show that I really wasn't feeling, if I'm going to be honest. After a hot start, I hate to say it, but this is where the show started to fall off the cliff a little bit. So this is where it went downhill, and not in a good way. But I am going to give it 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 for the effort, though. So not exactly the best match. It was an all right match for me. So not much more. But the theme once again, the right guy did win. Logan Paul needed to win a lot more. AJ's bulletproof at this point. He's in that utility veteran role as it is. So Logan needed a lot more. After all, he is one of the future stars of the company. So you may not like him, but you damn sure have to respect his abilities. So 3.5, maybe 3 3/4. That's the best I can do. So not much more to say. Bullock, it went a smidgen too long. It should have gone right around that 13 to 15 like those other matches.
Yeah, but it was still a good match. I mean, it's not like it was anything horrible. I mean, I'll give it 3.5 stars. I mean, couldn't it have been better? Of course it can, but I'm not gonna really complain too much about it. So, it's yours, Fletch.
Agreed with everything Michael Bullock just said. 3.5 stars. I thought it was a fine match. I think the outcome was a little less to be desirable. I think they could have gone a different direction. They didn't really need Karrion Kross there, but I get it because that adds to the storyline between him and AJ Styles. But it is what it is. Logan Paul does get the win, and that's fine by us. And now we move on to the next match, which was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez putting the WWE women's tag team titles on the line against Lyra Valkyria. She had to find a partner in 24 hours after Bayley got taken out. Well, Lyra got a partner. Oh boy, did she find a partner. Making her return to WWE. The rumors of her being retired greatly exaggerated. the man, Becky Lynch is back. And in 8 minutes and 40 seconds, the winners and new women's tag team champions, Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch. It's Lyra 2 belts. Lyra Valkyria, now women's tag team champion and women's intercontinental champion. She has done it. The first woman on the main roster since, oddly enough, the man did it at WrestleMania 35. 6 years later, at WrestleMania 41, we witness history again. Michael Bullock, we kind of were thinking this was probably going to be the partner, and you even said it. If it was the man, we were going to have new champions, and it literally happened. You had the crystal ball in your hands, didn't you?
I did, because look, the moment Bayley got taken out, and then all of a sudden I had the feeling, because where is Lyra Valkyria from? Ireland.
She's from Ireland.
And you heard the rumor, and let's not forget another thing. Becky was in Vegas. I mean, you saw her during the Hall of Fame. And I was starting to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like thinking, Becky's got to be the partner. And I'm like, if she is the partner, they're winning the belts. And that's exactly what happened here. I mean, I'm going to give this about 2.5 for the effort here. I mean, damn, it's so good to see Becky Lynch back. Well, except for Liv Morgan, because what has she done, Fletch, since the last time she was in the ring with her?
Yeah. Liv Morgan's been the best, the GOAT, at least in our mind.
But what has she been bragging about?
Oh, that she ended Becky Lynch's career.
Yeah, and I'm like, and as Jerry the King Lawler would say, always keep your words soft and sweet, because you might have to eat them. And she had to eat them because her worst nightmare came back. And don't think for a minute, Fletch, that Becky has forgotten what Liv Morgan has said about her quote-unquote retirement, and saying, and remember that photo of Seth freaking Rollins and Becky with Rue at the Moana 2 premiere? She put out something saying, "Oh, look at her enjoying retirement." I'm like, yeah, you better smile right now, because when Becky comes back, I think Liv's going to lose that smile. And that's what happened when Becky returned. And yeah, they are now the new women's tag team champions. And yeah, now it's Lyra 2 belts. And I don't know about you guys, but did you watch the WrestleMania post show? I mean, they've been doing these press conferences, and oh my gosh, what a moment where Becky brought her daughter in there, and I think she stole the whole damn press conference. I mean, I couldn't help but just smile, just seeing that. Man, all I can say is 2.5 stars. But Fletch, I know you had to have a big smile on your face when the man returned.
Oh yeah,
I think WrestleMania became WrestleMania again.
Yeah, and it was the minute the music hit, the doors open, and here came out Becky Lynch, and she looked good. She looks like she's in shape, boys. You know, there's always a concern. You know, is there going to be ring
and
rust?
Remember this, Fletch. May 27, 2024. Almost a freaking year since the last time we saw her in a ring.
Yeah.
And she looks good.
And the thing was, a lot of people were a little worried, because normally But the thing is, Becky is, look, she took the time away because she wants to be a mother to Root. I don't think we're gonna fault her for that. We're not gonna complain or anything else. Who the hell are we to tell Becky Lynch, oh no, you need to be in the ring, you need to be competing in WWE?
I certainly ain't gonna be the one to say it.
Yeah. So Becky wanted it to come back, and she came back at the best time. And I think she was trying to throw some people off the scent. That's why she was hinting about the retirement thing. I think she was trying to. I think she knew that if everybody started sniffing around a little too much, that they might spoil a bomb or two, and that's why you didn't want to have that leaked out on the internet. Because nowadays everybody can find everything and anything on the internet. So now WWE need to be a little more sneakier on their surprises, who they can bring in, what, like a whole bunch of different things. So I get it. I understand why they had to do it. So I'm happy Becky did it. I'm happy she did the match. She looked amazing. I'm still in love with this girl. She still is that fiery redhead, that last kicker that I remember from NXT all those years ago. And Florio, you know it. You know where I'm going with that, because that's where it all began for me, for Becky Lynch. And now look at her in this day and age. You know, she's a mother, she's a wife, and she's still doing it at the peak performance of her career. Good for her. And Lau Valkyria, dude, what a year for this girl. Women's Intercontinental Champion, now one half of the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. This has been like, the sky's the limit for the Valkyrie now. And she's over. You heard those people chant doing the woo at the beginning of her music. So she's over now. I just hope they can keep this going a little while longer. The only thing I feel horrible about is that Bayley got sacrificed in this instant. And I think that's the one downside about the whole matter, is that Bayley got sacrificed for the right, so that Becky can come back and have her moment. I hope they can turn this around and give Bayley some kind of something, like, an opportunity, or maybe her being a champion for stepping back out of the WrestleMania spotlight, so that Becky could get the spot in. That's my only take on that. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, MF. I mean, you got there a little bit before I did. I mean, I was about to bring it up, because I thought for a moment you weren't gonna bring it up, but you just did. So I'll elaborate on that in just a moment. Solid tag team match here. This is only 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. All right, got to be the man who tells it like it is here. I have nothing but respect for Becky Lynch. She is a beloved star and was rightfully cheered up on her comeback. But there is a real argument to be made that nothing about this match did anything for anyone except for her. Lyra Valkyria hardly shined, the recipient of the heat spot, while the champions were tackling buddies for Becky Lynch in the closing moments. The man had a triumphant return and basked in the adulation of the crowd, but this felt as though it served one instead of all four. It's also awful for Bayley, who was yanked from the card in a lame injury angle and missed out on an appearance on the card. Could there be I do have a small scenario here. Might it eventually be revealed that Becky Lynch was the culprit behind Bayley's attack? If so, that seems way too similar to another story that just wrapped up between Jade Cargill and Naomi. Wade Barrett on commentary rightly supported Morgan and Rodriguez for denying any wrongdoing in the attack that sidelined Bayley, reminding his teammates and the fans that they were wrongly accused in Jay Cargill's attack. The Becky Lynch pop was enormous. Absolutely. Just like it was at SummerSlam 2021 in that same stadium. And Liv Morgan literally said deuces and tagged out rather than square off with the man, which makes sense given how Morgan defeated Lynch in her very last match to retain the Women's World Championship last Memorial Day in that steel cage match after winning the title from her at the King and Queen of the Ring 2 days prior. So the best I could go for the match, 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Lyra 2 belts. Yes, Lyra does have 2 belts now. Women's Intercontinental Champion and 1/2 of the Women's Tag Team Champions. And after what they did to Bayley here, especially after what Bayley did a year ago when she won the WWE Women's Championship, I am hopeful. I'm hopeful that Papa H or somebody on that team pulled her aside and said, "We will make this up to you. Damn it to hell, you better make it up to her."
I think they're going to do something.
They damn sure better. I'll tell you what.
I think they will.
Anybody did that to me,
I think a heel turn is coming.
yes. Hopefully a monstrous one at that. With
Because
a title
I think we talked about it. I think Bayley could turn heel and maybe go after Lyra and the Women's Intercontinental title again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That could happen. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe something will happen tomorrow. I don't know.
So don't worry, Florio. I think something's going to come out of this.
Okay.
So
constructive criticism over. I mean, it's great. It is great to see Becky back. Yes, absolutely. But and it's definitely going to be a big boost for the Raw women's division. No doubt about it. Business is going to pick up in our division. But the way it went down, I don't know. Just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, a smidge, a little bit. But hey, Lyra's got 2 belts. That's awesome for her. We were very critical of how they were booking her for the longest time, and now she's got 2 titles now. So we'll see how long it lasts, though. So we'll see what happens. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. And now we move on to the main event. Last night's main event was an all-timer. Last night's main event set the bar for WrestleMania main events. John Cena and Cody Rhodes, well, they had a very tough main event to follow from last night.
They did indeed. And it was indeed that one. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It lasted 21 minutes and 40 seconds. The winner of the bout and the new undisputed WWE champion, John Cena. He has done it. 17 is his. He breaks the all-time record. He is now at our former colleague Derek Ferreira made a video about it, and his caption said it all. John Cena is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And there is, it goes like this. It's a 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star match. And I loved the psychology of the story. And that was that who is willing to go the extra mile, who is willing to do whatever it took to be the champion. There was a moment in the match, the referee was taken out, and Cody had the WWE Championship in his hands. There was a tug of war. And Cody had a choice of not listening to the fans, blasting Cena with the belt, and he could have became and still the WWE champion. But Cody being so conflicted in his decision didn't pull the trigger, and Cena did. Cena knocked him low, knocked him with the belt, and got the title and won it. That is the difference between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. The fans went nuts. The fans went bonkers because they all witnessed history here tonight. Now, I'm not going to do the history made unprecedented crowning because it doesn't deserve it. This does not deserve it. And for all those fans out there, and I know Michael Bullock's going to come around and like, well, 17, you could put an asterisk on it. Here's the problem with that, Michael. Ric Flair, in his 16 times that he was the world champion, there were numerous times that he backdoored his way to the victory. Anthony Florio knows that. That he always had help by the Four Horsemen to get him to some of the world title wins. As a matter of fact, Miss Elizabeth Shue hit Macho Man in the face in a steel cage fight in Super Brawl. That helped him win the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Put his feet on the ropes.
Put his feet on the ropes.
That's how he won another. What about Starrcade 95 MF?
Yes.
With I think it was Arn Anderson and a tire iron or a crowbar.
Yes.
If I recall.
So that closes any debate about, well, Cena's title win. Well, this Cena title win is an asterisk. No, he won it. He got it. So there's no debate. 3 to 3.5, 3.5 stars to 3 3/4 is my rating because obviously I'm going to punish it for the finish. But I'm considering this a legitimate title win. And this is the 17th for John Cena. So it now quiets the naysayers. The people who was like that he couldn't wrestle, he wrestled tonight and did a damn good job at it. He did exactly what he needed it to do to quiet the naysayers, and he did. There is no argument anymore. And now, how is John Cena going to ruin professional wrestling as we know it? What's next? How's that going to play out? What are we about to witness on that angle of the storyline?
We'll find out tomorrow night.
That is going to be the fun part now. Because the man who said that he was going to ruin wrestling, he just crushed the dreams of every little kid and every Cody fanboy that was out there. But you notice, there was a lot of fans that were for John Cena tonight. Cena had that crowd tonight. More than usual. It felt like WrestleMania 18. Cody was booed by the fans during certain portions of the match. That honestly took me aback. I didn't expect that. But I said it once. I said it again. 17 was coming. I said it the minute Cena sold his soul to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and it exactly happened. But here's the thing. The Rock wasn't there. You had Travis Scott, but Scott didn't really have much to do with the match. He tried to get involved, and Cody snuffed him out. Cody put him out and got his revenge for what happened at Elimination Chamber. Fine, fair enough. But there's no doubt in my mind, John Cena You got my respect, sir. Congratulations on breaking the all-time record. The record that many thought was unbreakable has been broken. And this was the man that actually could do it and did it. Props to Triple H and the creative for having the guts, the balls, and to really do it, pull the trigger on it. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
That's my show of respect for the greatest of all time, John Cena. You deserve it, sir. For everything you've done for this business. MF, I'm even more happier about this than you are, man. Seriously. This is a great moment. This is a moment that you're going to tell your grandkids about, man. That's how great this is. This is a moment saying, I saw that. I was a part of history. We now have the greatest world heavyweight champion in WWE history. You may not like how he did it. And I know there's a lot of people that wish that something could be done about it. But at the end of the day, this is a business. And this is how they run the business. We would do it differently. But, you know, there's nothing we can do. Whether you like it or not, John Cena is the GOAT. And he is the WWE champion once again. 17 times. Ric Flair even sent out a congratulatory tweet, believe it or not. You thought Ric Flair might have, said something, not so flattering. But Ric Flair on his Twitter, and I quote, said, "Congrats to my great friend John Cena on becoming a 17-time champion. It was only a matter of time. You and Cody Rhodes put on an instant classic. Much respect." Woo! So, you guys know I'm a big Ric Flair mark. That's proven. But there's one thing that he said that I disagree with. The match was not an instant classic. No, absolutely not. The best I can go for this is 3.25 to 3.5 stars. All right. Lot to dissect here. The historic, all right. Michael Cole hammered home the story of Cody Rhodes not being willing to do what was necessary to be champion and thus losing the title. It was a perfectly fine concept, but one we saw quite literally 2 matches before this, with AJ Styles' refusal to accept Karrion Kross's help in defeating Logan Paul. What was a fine enough main event descended into a convoluted mess with the arrival of Travis Scott and the shenanigans that followed. There was no Rock, which fans invested in Cena's story, waited for, considering it was him who the longtime hero sold his soul to initiate the heel turn. The lack of the final boss and the clunky finish, I thought, hurt this one and put a damper on what should have been an even bigger moment for John Cena, given his historic title victory. Cena entered the arena to no special graphics, just a darkened arena with black graphics and his name in big white print. A sharp contrast to the colorful entrances that had defined his previous appearances on the grand stage. The crowd was predictably split, with 2 generations of fans rooting for their QB1. Cody kicked out of one attitude adjustment, then another, this time delivered off the ropes. Cena with a third AA, directly into the old STFU. Cody fought to the ropes, but Cena pulled him back to the center of the ring. Cue the ref bump. Crossroads, no one to count the fall. John Cena exposes the turnbuckle. Cena delivers a 4th AA, still no 3 count. Travis Scott took approximately 2 days to get down the damn ramp into the ring, but eventually ate a crossroads from the champ, so it was worth it. And considering Cena kicked Cody low, how did the American Nightmare not see that coming? So, if I'm going to be honest with you, I know the moment at Elimination Chamber will live forever, and they did that perfectly. If you were going to really have Cena sell his soul, the moment that happened at Elimination Chamber, for me personally, now this is just me personally, I gave you my professional opinion. From a personal standpoint, me and me alone, I know I'm probably going to be the lone wolf on this one. The moment that happened at Elimination Chamber, that's what should have happened tonight. If that had happened tonight, what happened at Chamber, and then Cena won the title, I think that would have been, with all due respect, that would have been a little more impactful. And that would have been perfect. But they gave it at the Chamber. I understand why.
Do you believe that just because there was no Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that maybe that is why it wasn't as impactful? Is that what you're trying to allude to, Florio?
Yes, sir.
That if Rock was there, that it would have made that this would have been a bigger moment?
With all due respect, yes. With all due respect.
No, I kind of agree with that. I actually kind of agree with that.
What happened at Chamber?
You're right.
The image of Elimination Chamber will live rent-free in our heads for the rest of our lives, for as long as we live. That image from Chamber should have happened tonight, if they were going to go this route. I hate to say it, but WrestleMania was bookended by anticlimactic world title wins. Jey Uso, as happy as Bullock and I, especially Bullock and I, as happy as we are for Jey Uso, he damn sure deserves it. Yeet and all that. His world title win over Gunther, hate to say it, anticlimactic. Cena's title win tonight, I'm sorry, all due respect, personal opinion, anticlimactic. Hit him with the belt, that's the best you can do? Really? I'm not feeling that one. Sorry. The Chamber moment. What happened at the Elimination Chamber when Cena sold his soul? If they had saved that for tonight, that would have been the perfect way for Cena to win the title. Then I would be singing his praises even more. But personal feelings aside, it was still John Cena's moment. I don't like how it happened, but it is what it is. He is the GOAT. I am not gonna disagree with that. I'd be a stupid idiot and a muttonhead to disagree with that. But whether you like the man or you don't, you damn sure have to respect him. And I have all the respect in the world for John Cena, 17-time champion. And I also mentioned this on the when we did the preview show. I would have thought maybe something with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. I thought maybe they would have had an involvement in this match. That also would have been more impactful. But that didn't happen either. Yeah, Travis Scott and Cena hits him with the belt for the win.
I wonder if Triple H is slow burning this. I'm wondering if because of the fact that the long-term booking, yes, but
bread and butter.
Maybe they couldn't pull the trigger because Rock wasn't going to be there, and maybe they're holding it off for when he does show up.
That's true.
That they'll do something crazy. I think that's why. I think it's because maybe The Rock, because The Rock's got a lot of things going on right now, movie-wise, whatever. Maybe they didn't want to pull the trigger because they knew he wasn't going to show up.
Well, now that you mention that kind of does make sense. But LAME, lame. That's how I got to describe it. So that's it for me. So 3.25, 3.5 stars. Congratulations, John Cena. 17 title. Even though it was just as anticlimactic as Jay's win last night. But the only difference, it is what it is. So nothing we can do about it. It's their company, not ours. I would have done the Elimination Chamber ending on this one, but 'tis what it is. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, whether we don't like this at all, but it is what it is. We got to give the man his flowers, whether we want to or we don't. John Cena, 17, the record, the GOAT, surpassing Ric Flair. He got the endorsement from Ric Flair on X. But the way he did it, not the way I would have done it. What happened at Chamber, the way the whole thing went down at Chamber, I would have saved that for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it, and it is what it is. So, yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, I agree with everything you guys have said here. So, I wonder what he means by when he said tune in tomorrow night on Raw. When he said when it comes to ruining wrestling, what do you think it could be?
I mean, he could. I mean, I
Could he
think
basically just say, you know what? Screw the rest of the farewell tour. I'm retiring now and taking this belt with me.
he could, or does he destroy the WWE title and bring out a new championship, one that's not for the fans, one that's not for the purity of wrestling?
And
I mean,
to destroy the legacy of that title.
yeah.
Basically his way of saying, you know what? Fuck all those guys who held the title.
Basically, screw the lineage.
Screw the lineage. Screw Hulk Hogan. Screw Triple H. And I hate to say it, Florio, screw Bret the Hitman Hart. And of course, I hate to say it, and it's my guy, screw The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Screw all those legends, all those men that held that title. I'm creating a new legacy when it comes to this belt. One I'm not pandering to the fans or to any of the legends. It's only for one person and one person only. Me.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Basically,
We know
him giving the middle finger to everybody.
Yeah. And quite frankly, up to this point, he's been very truthful about everything that he said up to the point. I've made my opinions known about John Cena's promos and everything else. And trust me, you and I have gone at battles about my feelings about John Cena's promos, and you've had your feelings about Cena's promos, and we've had a few fights on this channel and on Florio's channel because of this. So let's see what happens tomorrow night. I'm very interested to see what Cena does more than anything else.
And you wonder if Cena does that, could it bring out some of the legends to say, what you're doing is 100% wrong?
I mean, we'll find out.
You destroying the legacy of the title that you even held one time. And for you to do that is flat out despicable.
Now, the big question I got is, will The Rock show up to say, no, he can do whatever he wants because now he is the new face of the WWE? Is this why he wants to do? What is his vision? What does he mean by he wants to destroy wrestling as we know it? This is why I want to see what's going on. I can't wait to see what Cena does. And oh, by the way, programming note, if you want to watch Pat McAfee's show, bright and early tomorrow, 12 in the afternoon, around 12:15 on ESPN, on X, and on YouTube, John Cena will be at the WWE World with Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, and a Toxic Table.
But will he be like what he was during the press conference?
We're just gonna have to wait and see.
When he said, "Oh, everybody had clickbait questions." Basically, that was him telling the media to fuck off.
Yeah.
This John Cena is basically he's anti anybody that disagrees with anything that he said. You know what? Fuck the media, fuck the fans, fuck the legends who think of what I am. I only care about what The Rock's vision is. We'll see.
Yeah. It's a wild time for WWE, I can tell you that, folks. You want to talk about the direction of the company flipped on its head? That's exactly what we saw. Anthony Florio, come on in. Final thoughts, overall review. It is all yours, my friend.
All right. 8 out of 10 for solid 8 out of 10 for me. WrestleMania Sunday was better than Saturday. The triple threat match that kicked things off may have been the best match of the weekend, although that main event was right there with it. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre tore it down, and the Fatal 4-Way IC title match was immensely fun. But like I said, things took a downward turn from there, and not in a good way. Ending with a clunker of a main event and some booking questions that left plenty to be desired. Triple H and company will have to work overtime, starting with Raw tomorrow night, to regain some of the faith that was lost in the lead-in and ultimately execution of this year's show. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10 from me. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. Nothing else to say. Fletch, you have the final say.
This was the weekend that WWE fans were waiting for. This was the weekend that AEW was very nervous about, because everything, if WWE would have cooked, would have been the death nail to All Elite Wrestling. After the 2 nights of WrestleMania, AEW was hit, but did not get knocked out. This was not the knockout punch. AEW will probably live for a little while longer. I will say this. It was an 8 out of 10. Tonight was better than the first night, no doubt. But the way that the show went down, the whole way through, I think there was a lot that was left to be desired. You can call it on the booking. You can call it on the fans. You can call it on whatever. Whatever the case may be, WWE did a fine job. But you can say this WrestleMania was kind of a middle of the pack WrestleMania. I wouldn't even consider it a top 10. Maybe in the top 15, but probably like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in that range. But nowhere close to top 10. And nowhere close to the awesomeness of last year's WrestleMania. This was fine. It was good. But at the gist of it, it was a fine Mania. I'm not calling it a step back, but it did fall back a little bit. Last night was probably average. Tonight was better, but like Anthony said, the ending was very lackadaisical. WWE's got a lot of opportunities to clean some stuff up. Maybe now it's the Raw after Mania. You already know chaos is about to run amok. We hope. So we'll see how that plays out. That's it. We're done. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night for the recap of course, Monday Night Raw. And we also got the TNA Unbreakable. TNA Unbreakable. It's just Raw and NXT. That's right. I'm sorry. It's the recap of Raw and NXT.
We're also going to preview the TNA Rebellion. Unless you want to hold that off until Friday, we can certainly do that.
All right. Yeah, we could hold it off
since it's Sunday.
Yeah. So we'll hold it off till Friday. So until then, we'll see you all tomorrow night. 10:30, Tone 25. For Anthony Floyer and Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher, saying so long, everybody.